Okay, so the aim of the following tutorial is to demonstrate you how we are able to collect numerical data using PTV vSim simulation software. So to make the demonstration, I have created a very small scale transport network. Probably I could run the simulation model just to see what is happening inside the model. So a network is really very simple. We have a main road. In this point, we see that a part of the traffic could go to a following direction, a part could go straight. And as we are able to recognize, we have one more road, and here we have a traffic flow merging point. So again, as I have stated, now what we need to collect numerical data, because we could see a 3D visualization of the simulation model. We see 2D visualization of the simulation model, but as we have discussed, the power of the simulation is in collecting the numerical data. So first of all, we need to check how our simulation model is configured. Therefore, we are going to menu simulation, and here we have an item which is called parameters. So by pressing parameters, we will get a window which demonstrates us a key configuration parameters. So first of all, we are able to catch up that a period of simulation is 3600 simulation seconds. We are keeping start time, start date. They are not actually very important here. The next one which is important is a number of runs. So now it is indicated 1, meaning that by pressing run the model, a model will be executed only once. If you need, an example, to run, I don't know, 10, to complete 10 runs for the simulation model, so you are just indicating here 10, and by pressing once run simulation, the model will be executed 10 times, so meaning that you will collect the data from 10 runs. Also, and probably the last thing which I would like to point here is the next parameter, random seed increment. Now you see a default value is 0, meaning that each run would be unique, okay, because of a randomness, So let's leave it one. Let's leave it also one here, because the purpose is just to demonstrate you how we are collecting the data. So pressing OK, we are saving the parameters. The next one, what we need to check is actually how the data obtaining or data collection mechanism is configured. So if we would go to evaluation menu item, and next we would select the configuration, we will find one more window, and first of all we need to navigate to the tab result management, and here you could find some settings which would be really very important if you are executing several runs, meaning that you could configure it here that running the model each time a software is not deleting the data, so your volume of the data is growing, or you could leave it as indicated here, none, meaning that each time when you run the model, the previously collected data are removed from the software. So please pay attention. Yes, please pay attention that in my case it is indicated none. So each time I would receive new set of data. While if you are planning to complete several runs, so please pay attention to the more options which are indicated here. So in general, as you catch up, we are not making any changes here. That's why let's move to result attributes. So first of all, of course, you could see that we could collect the information which is dedicated to specific vehicle classes. But for our demonstration, I will not complicate, let's say, our scenario. Let's collect the information about all type of the vehicles. And the next really very important part of the following form is actually what we are going to collect. So here you could see different types of vsim objects. And by putting check mark at example for vehicle network performance, we are indicating to the software that yes, we would like to collect the following data during the simulation. Next one, what should be explained and which in many cases confuses the students, are the next three columns: from time to time and the interval. So from time by default is set to 0, meaning that we are starting to collect the data immediately when we have launched the simulation. So starting from time point 0, we are collecting the data. A following attribute would be really very useful when during our classes we will talk about something which is called a warm-up period for the simulation model. Now, as our purpose is just to talk how we are able to collect the data, let's leave it to 0. So at to time, according to the title, I believe it is clear. So it's the endpoint when we are completing a data collection. By the default, just a large number is set, meaning that we will never stop collecting the data. So most probably the model will stop to do the simulation, but we will not end data collection. And the next, a third item or third column which is indicated here is really very important. So let me explain you. Now you are able to see that interval is the same as to time. So by default they are the same values. But what does it mean, interval? Actually, interval means that a simulation software is able to collect the data by intervals. So, at example, what was the specific measure during, I don't know, the first 5 minutes of the simulation, the next 5 minutes of the simulation, the next 5 minutes of the simulation. So, meaning that here you could indicate what would be the time slices of how you would like to get your data. So if you will not provide any changes here, it means that you will have just one value, and this one would be average for the whole simulation period. So let's assume that we are going to collect the data about vehicle network performance, okay? And I would like to do it for each 5 minutes. So as the time units in a vsim are seconds, so 5 minutes multiplied by 60 would give us 300 seconds. That's why here we have an indication. So by pressing OK, we are saving the configuration. So actually what we need to do right now, we just need to run a simulation model. So I will speed up a bit a simulation process, and again the question is how to find a numerical data. It seems that we did all the configuration things, but still no numerical data. Yeah, guys, you are right. Let's go to evaluation, let's go to result lists, and let's select the first point, which is network performance vehicles results. So by pressing this one, we will get a table. And guys, please pay attention. So here are the time intervals which we have configured and which we have defined, and all the rest columns which you see here, they are actually the data which software collects about our model. So by pointing out to the specific column, you will find out what actually each specific attribute or each specific column means. At example, delay average all means average delay per vehicle, okay, for all classes of the vehicles. So meaning that following one provides us information about average delay in the network, which is measured in seconds. One more, just for demonstration. So attribute stop average, average number of stops, speed average, delay stop average, and so on and so on. And as you're able to see, so the model collects the information about each slice of the time. So what we could do next, we could of course wait until the end of the simulation, and this one would be a data set which we are able to use for I don't know, to copy paste in Excel and to make some diagram or whatever. So probably this one was a first example of how we are able to collect the data. And again, just to remind you that in this case, we are collecting the data about the network performance. Okay, so now let's go probably a bit deeper. So we have collected the information, or at least we know how to collect the data about network performance, but in many cases we are interested in details, meaning that we would like to know something about, as example, about a part of the road or about a part of the network. So therefore we have a number of the tools which we could use to collect the data. Mainly they are located here, and probably I would like to start with a very interesting tool which is called the vehicle travel times. So as you're able to recognize according to the following title, we are using a tool to collect the data about travel time. So first of all, we need to put a vehicle travel time object to the network, so meaning that we need to indicate where will be a starting point to collect the information about travel time, and what would be the end point where we are ending to collect the information about travel time. So meaning that right now you are able to see two points. So here hard to see, but maybe let's try to zoom a bit later. Here will be a starting point, here would be the end point, and immediately we will get a window which says that okay, please provide additional information. To be honest, not much of the things which you could provide here, but guys, I would strongly recommend you to provide the name of the following travel time measurement object. So let's call it main, okay, or main street. Please believe me that if you would have let's say several of such travel time measurement objects, it will be really very easy to lost them and to have a headache thinking, is it this one or not? So we have provided just the name, and by pressing OK, now we see a bit more clear that here is a starting point, here is the end point. Again, just to remind you the logic of the following block, that we are going to measure what is the travel time between starting point and end point. And again, guys, we need to go to evaluation. We need to go to configuration, and here we need to select an object or parameter or measure which we are going to collect information about. In this case, this one is a vehicle travel times. Again, I will not repeat all what has been stated before, but I will just indicate here again 300. Okay, so I would like to have a time slices. As you see here is a button more. Okay, so meaning that probably we are able to open a bit more configuration items here. Pressing more, you will get a following screen, and here is just one option: aggregation by time of passing the start section or destination section. In most cases, we are interested in a destination section, but if it's necessary, it could be also start section. Okay, so pressing OK, we are saving a configuration. Now again, let's run the model. So the model is running. Maybe I could even speed up it a bit more. Yes, let's try to see what kind of information we are collecting. Again, we need to go to evaluation. We need to go to result list. And what we need to find out, yes, we need to find out the item vehicle travel time result. So by pressing it, what we would receive, we would receive the following table, and here is the title we have provided. Okay, and here is the information about first of all a number of the vehicles. Okay. Recorded, so meaning that enter it to the following part of the model and complete it the right in this time point. So, and the next one is actually average travel time. Okay, so in a seconds, and as you are able to recognize, yeah, plus minus the timing is the same, because the network, to be honest, is really very simple. And here the last one is actually a distance traveled, but as you're able to recognize, here we have the same value. So it's actually how we are able to collect information about travel times in the network. Okay, so let's continue our journey with a vSIM and ability to collect the data. Now, guys, I would like to demonstrate you one more object, which is called nodes. Okay, because usually, or in many cases, we are interested not only about the whole network or about some transport corridors, but in many cases in a traffic simulation we are interested in what happens in the specific crossroad or node. So we are selecting a nodes first of all, and next one we are adding the new node. As usually we see graphically the object, and we see some configuration window. Again, guys, not maybe much what shall be configured here, but I would really recommend you to provide some specific name for a node. Let's call it Crossroad 1. I know it's not really very specific, but at least. And probably I would recommend, guys, to remove the following option: use for dynamic assignment. So leave it just use for evaluation. So it will be our first node. As you see, it has a shape of square. in overall you could use a functionality of a vsim, and you could make it not only as a square but any shape, but let it be for simplification a square. And let's add one more. So the second one, and let's call it crossroad 2. Again, remove for dynamic assignment. We are not doing dynamic assignment, okay, just for evaluation. Okay, and our second crossroad will be located here. Again, guys, I would like to underline that using vsim you could create nodes of any shape, not obligatory squares. I'm just want to make a short demonstration, and that's it. Okay, and as usually, guys, as you already catch up, we need to go to evaluation, to configuration. Here we need to select an object nodes, and actually the same here. Okay, let it be again 300. So I would like to have it by slices, but to be honest, usually for nodes we are getting the information about the whole simulation pirate. It's not something what probably we would like to see by slices, but let it be. Again, I'm just demonstrating you the generic approach of how to deal with it. So pressing OK, again starting the simulation, and yeah, that's good. So a simulation goes ahead, and as usually we go to evaluation result lists, and here we need to find out yeah, node results. So, and by pressing the node results, again no let's call it there are no different expectations, but again we have a table which is full with different kind of information. So a time interval, first of all, the next one you are able to recognize an information about what node we are talking. So, for example, this one is a crossroad 1, crossroad 2, crossroad 1, and so on. And next one, actually, guys, is really a lot of useful information. So, first of all, a queue length. So, next one, what is a maximum queue length? The next one, number of vehicles which pass the specific direction of the node. Okay, a very important and very useful for traffic flow simulation is a level of the service. So if you could remember, during our first class I have demonstrated you an example which utilized the level of the service. So guys, you are able to see here the information, a delay time, number of stopped delay, and even different kind of emissions. Now maybe what I need to comment about the nodes, that maybe you are confused, that here is something really unclear. So meaning that information about crossroad 1 with some let's call it additional information the same here, and just for crossroad 1. Yeah, guys, the story is that actually a following one is indicating about the specific direction. That's why it was recommended to provide meaningful names and titles for all objects. I have a numbers here. So only because of one reason I didn't provide it the specific title for links. So if it would be at example street names, here you would see a street name, and again this one is really very useful. And if you see just a crossroad, so without any additional information, so this one is aggregated information. So if if I would may, here is a level of service for specific direction. Here is the overall or average, we could call, a level of the service for a whole crossroad. Okay, so and again the same is regarding queue length, maximum queue length. So this one is for specific direction, this one is also for a specific direction. So now guys, you know how to collect the information about nodes. Okay guys, so let's continue. Probably I have demonstrated you the main techniques of how you are able to collect the data, so you catch up that everything goes through evaluation, menu item, and next we are receiving the table. But the question is, we are able to receive only the table, or maybe VSIM is a clever tool and it allows to receive and construct charts, diagrams, or whatever. So here guys, you are able to see again the simulation. Let me run it again, and we see here the information about vehicle travel time. Okay, and you see we have almost reached the end of the simulation. And at example, we have a number of vehicles, okay, indicated here. And at example, we would like to get an information, I mean the graphical information about the following data. So guys, by pressing, it's completed the simulation, but in any case, you see that the table is still here. So by pressing, I am using the right mouse. So button, we would receive a menu, and please pay attention that here we have an option create chart. So meaning that immediately we could visualize the data, and this thing is really very clever. So it already provides us some options of how we are able to visualize the data. So as we have collected the data by slices, so by time interval, probably it would be useful to use the following option for selected attributes. So our attribute is a number of the vehicles, okay, and for all time intervals. So pressing this one, immediately we would get the following, beautiful or not, it's up to you, but still a graphical diagram. So here you could see the time intervals, okay, and here you could see a specific value. So if you would like to do a configuration or whatever, here is a set of the tools, including export to the image tool, or copy image to the clipboard, or even more deeper inside. It's something what you could explore. So you could add some additional information which shall be visualized here, remove additional information, split the information by, at example, vehicle classes, and so on and so on. And of course, much more of the things could be configured. Yes, like a chat title, a font size, a visibility, and so on, a legend, how the grid looks like, and so on and so on and so on. So it's again, guys, really up to you. And I would like to point your attention that any parameter which you see can be visualized. Okay, I have selected a travel time. Unfortunately, the information here probably not so useful because the change is really very small one, but still you are able to see that information is visualized. Also, if you would like, you could change it to line or columns. Again, guys, it's something what you could play around and find what is the best way to demonstrate or visually represent your data. Okay guys, one thing more which I want to demonstrate you, I believe it will be quite useful. So again, we are dealing with the same network, and as you see, we are collecting information about network performance. So the simulation goes ahead, and by each slice we are receiving the data, but the question is, okay, I have the information by time interval, but is it possible to get some averages or whatever automatically without rerunning and reconfiguring the model or using Excel or whatever? Yes guys, please pay attention that here is a button, show time interval aggregates. So by pressing it, you will get additional rows in a table, total, average, standard deviation, minimum, and a maximum value. So this one can be classified as a descriptive statistics, and of course it can be used. Okay, it can be used for data processing, and as you are able to see, in general everything is happening almost online. So you are receiving the information, and the descriptive statistic measures are updated immediately. Okay guys, probably the last thing which I would like to demonstrate you is related with runs. Just to remind you that opening a simulation parameters, we are able to indicate the number of runs. So as you see, in my case, I have already indicated 2, meaning that by pressing launch the simulation, the model will be executed twice. And the idea is to collect the information, in this case, or output data from the model from 2 runs. And as you're able to see, I have already collected all the information for all time slices for the first run. So, and you see right now I am running the second run, and for a part of the data is already collected. So probably while the data is being collected, I would probably remind you a configuration thing. So I mean evaluation configuration thing, and please pay attention that in order to collect the information about all runs, here I need to change the parameters. So before it was none, so each time when I'm pressing run, the information is deleted from the software and new data is collected. While selecting of current multi-run only, so I'm going to collect the information about each run. So pressing once, the information is collected about the two runs. So sorry that I'm hiding visualization. Okay, it's really, I believe, a bit more interesting to see what is happening here. I mean that please pay attention. So we have a new field, sim run, and it indicates that the following part of the table refer to a first simulation, while the following part of the table refer to the second run. So as it has been stated, of course, as usually, we are able to use the button show time interval aggregates, and as you see, a following button allows us to get the information or descriptive statistics about each run. But in the same time, I would like to pay your attention that we have here one more button, which is called show simulation run aggregation. And if we would press the following button, we will find out really quite that our table become really very huge one. So meaning that starting from here and really to here, it's our result. So meaning that we have aggregated the data across time intervals. So, at example, a following one. So it's the average for a following interval across two runs. Again, in overall, if you have a raw data, of course, you could just copy paste the data in Excel and get the same information, but sometimes it's really very easy. Just click and get all the necessary descriptive statistics here in a vSIM environment. Also, I would like to pay your attention that, for example, if you would select the attribute and again create chart, I would like to pay your attention that here is one more option for selected attributes, all simulation runs, meaning that the simulations runs can be considered as another thing for visualization. Again, probably not really very interesting. Let me close it. Not very interesting, but at least what we could see: a simulation run 1, a simulation run 2, and we are demonstrating a delay average. Okay, so it's actually how things or data collection things are working in vSIM. Okay, let's ignore it. And what I just wanted to state that, of course, guys, I have demonstrated you only the basic tools for data collection, but you could explore by yourself a data collection points, queue counters or flow bundles, and different kind of measures which you are able to get from a vSIM.